Hey, Jason here with Tools for Guys. I'm the oldest of the three brothers, and then of course we've got my dad, Ruben, as well, and my middle brother, Brandon, and my youngest, Aaron. They unfortunately couldn't be here right now because they're getting together with other kids. They've been very active with a lot of our bigger outdoor toys, if you will, including this one here, both Hunter and Connor. And you can see maybe two others behind me there when it comes to the electric, whether it's Power Wheels. This one is the Outlaw, the Peg Perego. So they literally, my youngest especially, Connor, rides this twice a day, probably around, 9:30, 10 a.m. for about 45 minutes to an hour. And then he does it again for about another 45 minutes to an hour in the evening, sometime around maybe between 4 and 6. And so needless to say, you can see here, right, this tire is already just coming apart. And it's mainly because we've owned several of these in the past, and we were always generally on grass. And so the tires really weren't an issue when it came to basically being wet, worn down in this way. And so what I wanted to do, I've done some research. I wanted to figure out a way how I can kind of just give these tires an upgrade, put some traction on it, make them last longer. I actually purchased this whole thing we purchased about a year ago. When I purchased this about these new tires only 5-6 weeks ago. And again, probably in the last 3 weeks, my youngest son has really put some use to it, and it costs $50 to replace these front two, and I said, okay, I've got to find a better way to do that, to make these last longer and inexpensive. So I did a little bit of research. There's different ways that I've seen online, and but probably the quickest and least expensive way that I've seen online is what I'm going to share with you here. So the idea here is that you buy some mountain tire tires for a bicycle, right? For a mountain bike. Okay, and so what this calls for, it calls for 2 of these 29-inch mountain bike tire. Okay, and the idea, you basically can cut one of these in half, and it'll wrap both tires. So I bought 2 of them so that I can cut them each in half, and it'll go on all 4 tires. You also need, I got the number 14 3/4 inch screws. They're a little bit thicker. I wanted them to be able to kind of, and by the way, you could probably use any screws, all right? But based on different research that I saw, I think the little bit thicker screws work a little better, and they're shorter as well, right? So bought those, and you'll see what we're gonna do here. We're gonna screw that into the tire and also the plastic tire itself. And then you'll also need a drill. So I'll put all of this in the description below of what's needed and where you can buy those online. The tires themselves cost about 16, 17 bucks a piece. Again, you can cut those in half, and it takes care of 2, right? The screws here, and you get quite a bit of them. I want to say for about 9 bucks. And of course, I already had the power drill and the kitchen, and then last but not least, the kitchen scissors or some shears if you have. I'm going to go ahead and get some close-ups, and you're going to get to see me work through, and then you'll get to see the finished product later today on how well it works. All right. So I just took out one of these mountain bike tires, and you want to first start by just cutting all the way through. What I try to look for, and again, based on the research I've done, if you have to end up cutting through one of these nodes, that's fine. But if you can find maybe all the way through where it's just straight flat, even better. If not, it's fine. But what you want to first do is take your kitchen scissors, and we're just going to cut all the way through here. Wow, that's tough. Looks like the research, and maybe these are just thicker tires than what was purchased on the research, but these kitchen scissors are just not cutting it. I might be able to just go through, but it definitely may be easier to get some shears Yeah, the wiring thread within here, it's just not cutting through this. So I'm gonna have to come back and do this with some shears. All right, so we got some shears here. These are just some small branch shears. We're looking to see if these work, and we'll cut through this. So here we go. Those are not working either. All right, we'll have to get some different shears. All right, so this is some thicker tire tread here. And so the kitchen scissors didn't work. I got some small handheld branch shears. Those didn't work. So I enlisted my neighbor, because I didn't have a set on me, for some tin snips. Right now, this is an older one. I'll put, you can find down in the description for some newer ones, but this is definitely working and getting through. You can see, and even having a little trouble with this, but you can see it's a lot easier. It's actually going through, right? Getting through that. What you got to get through is, you can see that wire right there. That's what you really got to get through. That's kind of holding everything up, right? You can see once you get through that, it's pretty quick. Then what you want to do is, right, this is the portion that has that metal. Then what I want to do is cut off this portion. Now, what I've researched shows cutting off all the way up here, but I want to actually a little bit wider, just mainly because you can see that big hole. So I want mine to go a little bit more wider on the tire, so that I have where I drill in, it can actually still drill into plastic that exists there and it's not broken. So I'm going to cut all the way around here and just go all the way around. What I've done first is cut in half, and now I'm going to go all the way around. All right, so instead of kitchen scissors, I got just some regular heavy-duty office scissors, and those are really working well on the side here. You can see, sorry, this is all coiled up. Let me try to get that, but you can see how much faster I can actually go through this rubber. And then we go ahead and do the other side as well. right, so now the idea is, again, is that we just wrap this all the way around like that. And then I'm gonna go around with these screws, right? The number 14 3/4 inch screws. You can see they're real thick there. All right, so what's nice about this one, this side, you can see this side only has one and it hasn't quite gone all the way through. The other one was way more, so I had to use more screws. This one still, although there's a lot of wear and tear, there's really only one portion where it semi is cracked. Whereas in there was literally on 2 spots on each side, cracks as big as this wide, kind of just rocks and stuff would get in. So I had to use a couple more screws. On this one, you can see, this one I don't think I'll have to use as many screws, so I'll probably be able to go about twice as fast. So you notice in the placing here, you don't want to make it too close to the edge. And if I can find a spot in between the tread here that fits kind of almost perfect when I screw it all the way down, that's kind of ideally where I'd like to screw that in. All right, and same thing here. If you notice, this isn't as bad as that tire, but there is a crack going through here. Again, about 25% of the tire. So my goal is to right above that crack right here, start that. At the end, we're gonna place some, and then try to find some hard points, 1 or 2 hard points in between this crack to be able to still screw some screws in. So just, obviously it's not gonna screw into that, right? All right, so here we go. We'll see how this works, right? There's a big crack right here. My neighbor gave me an idea. I might use some constructive adhesive and maybe get under here, just because there's a crack, so there's not a lot for the screw to bite. So I may do that for this portion here. Rather than that, all 4 tires are now done. Looking pretty good. All right. All right, well, this was my first go at it, and I've now completed all 4 tires all the way around. I would say some takeaways I had was we first attempted with the kitchen scissors, and those just didn't quite do it. It really what gave me the problem with the mountain bike tread. It was at the edges, it's lined with several strands of just wire, and these couldn't cut it at all. I ended up needing some heavy duty, you really need some shears, and I even still had to use some wire clippers as well. Once I got through that, just some heavy duty office scissors were able to then, I was able to use the rest of the way. So that was some takeaways from my first go at it. The other is that I'd recommend is don't wait as long as I did to do this. Most of the front 2 tires were cracked. It was very difficult for me. I had to be very careful in where I screwed each screw in, just for there to actually have some plastic behind it to screw into. So those are some key takeaways. Don't wait as long as I did to do it. The back tires were a lot easier because they had a lot more plastic, a lot more tread available for the screws to bite down in. And also just a recommendation that my neighbor Paul had. I love Paul, giving him a shout out right now. Not only did he let me borrow his heavy duty shears here, but also he recommended that in certain areas I might need some construction adhesive as well. So I may end up doing that in the future, but wanted to let you know some takeaways. And now we're, Connor and Hunter are ready to ride this and rock and roll. Thanks for watching. If you go down in the description below, we're going to have all the links to the tools and equipment that I needed and all the prices as well, so that you could, if you needed to do it at your home, you could do it as well. Thanks for watching. Give us a like, share with your friends, subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Okay, Connor, say hi.
Hi.
Are you ready to ride your bike?
Yeah.
Now that Daddy fixed the tires, let's take a look at the, can you point the tires? Point to the tires. All right, Daddy fixed them?
Yeah.
Okay, let's get on. Let's ride it. Are you ready? All right, let's do it. Come on. Take it for a spin. All right, here we go. Go. Oh, Daddy's got to put the battery in. Are you ready to go?
Yeah.
All right, we got the battery in now. We got new tires, upgraded tires. Let's rock and roll. Take it for a spin. Go for a spin. All right, go. What? Golly. Go, go, go.